The Simpsons 11 predictions for 2026 are insane. Over 3 decades of uncanny predictions, people have been trying to foretell the future for as long as we've been around as a species. But perhaps they've been looking in the wrong places. If anyone or entity is going to predict the future correctly, it's likely going to be The Simpsons. During its 30 successful years, fans have learned to dismiss The Simpsons simply as a cartoon for kids, while serving as the basis of modern comedy. Across more than 600 episodes, Fox's cartoon has had many moments that have manifested themselves in real life. Matt Groening's hit animated sitcom has delivered countless storylines over 27 seasons. From the death of Kobe Bryant to Donald Trump's shocking presidency prediction, the writers of The Simpsons have created scenes in the show that spookily go on to mirror real-life events. The spookiest thing is that they might have even predicted the current global health situation 27 years ago, when a deadly virus came to Springfield from Asia. Although many of the writers claim it's mainly coincidence because the episodes are so old that history repeats itself. That hasn't stopped viewers from fearing that some other worrying predictions that they've made are still yet to come true. With that said, let's take a look at the top 11 Simpsons predictions for 2026. Number 1. Large-scale environmental disaster. This prediction occurred in the Simpsons movie from 2007, which talked about numerous pretty strange things, many of which could be predictions of future events. One thing in particular stands out. The movie's central theme is about a massive environmental disaster that most definitely could happen, but it fixes it in a genuinely implausible way. Homer dumps pig feces in the already dangerously polluted Springfield Lake. This caused an environmental crisis that forced the country to quarantine Springfield by placing a giant bubble over the town. Although the bubble is a bit outrageous and would probably never happen, the part about the environmental disaster might just be a significant warning to us in the future. By now, those of us who aren't brainwashed are aware of global warming and the gravity of the issue caused by humans. Companies are becoming more and more careless in the way they do business, which has a major effect on our lives and our environment. Number 2. Flying cars. Back in 2005, Professor Frank invented the machine that allowed Bart and Lisa to see into their future. As in 2013, Marge left Homer because he blew through their savings on an underwater house and spent what he had left over on a hover car. Homer: sometimes people just grow apart like me and your mom. Bart: no, Mom dumped you because you blew all our money on this underwater house. Although the car is the prototype and the ride is a bit bumpy, it does get them through a quantum tunnel. In the 1992 episode called Itchy and Scratchy Land, the movie finishes with a scene 40 years into the future. The scene shows a much-aged Homer and Bart being passed by a Star Trek-style hovercar as they walk to a cinema while walking down the street. Hovercars seem to be complete normalcy. The fact that we all know hovercars have been in the making for a while suggests that the concept won't be implausible by this point in time. But hold on, because a company called Samson Sky is ready to set off their first hovercars. Finally, we can beat the stubborn traffic in town, maybe in 2026. Number 3. Moving to Mars. One of the main talking points in recent years is the colonization of Mars. Numerous people have already applied to go and live on Mars to help turn the planet into a human colony. Although this hasn't happened yet, one episode of The Simpsons shows a world where Lisa and Marge are sent to Mars on a mission to build a habitat there. Marge is not excited when Lisa signs up as a volunteer for a future one-way trip to Mars. In fact, hoping to prevent Lisa, the whole family signs up. The concept behind exploration and its expedition is to colonize the Red Planet before 2026. Although the takeoff fails, Lisa and Marge make it to Mars in 2051, only for Lisa to announce she wants to move to Venus. Lisa: my life. If I want to leave Mars and move to Venus, you can't stop me. If we ask Elon Musk about this, it would definitely happen in the near future. Number 4. Music-induced mind control. Some people claim the episode featuring mind control through music was one of the scariest they have ever seen, and it indeed gives you shivers. The episode in question is New Kids on the Block from 2001, featuring a plot that shows Bart, Milhouse, Nelson, and Ralph becoming members of a boy band named Party Posse. But here is the real case. The band is actually a psyop scheme by the US Navy to bombard children with subliminal messages. Their hit song, Drop the Bomb, features the chorus Ivan et Nioj, which is, of course, Join the Navy, spelled backwards. The entry may be making its way into the Simpsons prediction that has come true sooner rather than later. As some people believe that hip-hop lyrics brainwash listeners, most people even like to think that secular music has long been used by the elites to control the masses. Number 5. Virtual reality overload. Another eerie episode from the animated series tackled the issue of virtual reality. Although The Simpsons might not have predicted the actual rise of virtual reality, they did predict the dangers that overusing virtual reality technology could cause. The episode Friends and Family takes place in 2030, showing Homer and Marge using virtual fudge via VR glasses and feeding tubes. Homer: virtual fudge tastes like crap. You'd think the whole virtual no-calories thing would have cut down the junk food junkie patriarch. It didn't. In reality, a company called Aero Banquets RMX has finally made this technology come to fruition. In the meantime, Royal Caribbean is looking into giving their cruise line guests a VR dining experience in the real world. With every bite of food, you are transported to a new setting. However, bad things start to happen due to this, including cars hitting people because they're walking around with their headsets on the street. Soon, people become so fascinated by the fake reality that they lose touch with the real world, becoming wholly disconnected from what's around them. Number 6. The rise of holograms. On another look into the future, a loafer Bart receives a hologram message hiring his band for a club gig. In Bart to the Future, the skater kid himself gets a glimpse into his life down the line. While not the prettiest, it features a mailman stopping by his house to give him a virtual letter in the form of a hologram. The booking is signed off with "Smell you later," which replaces the customary goodbye. Bart: I can't believe "smell you later" replaced goodbye. HD 3 holograms are already available for use in stores and installed in more than 500 Best Buy locations. But we should wait and see if these could become normal in reality. Technology is constantly advancing, especially when it comes to the way we communicate. Number 7. Solar-powered cars. The 582 episode Paths to Glory features Lisa inventing the car powered by solar energy to enter the race in the alternative energy derby. However, Duff decided to block out the sun, making her vehicle stop a couple of inches from the finish line. The people gathered around the frustrated girl, pointing and laughing at her absolute failure. But it appears as though there is a darker, more complex theme at play here. What we are seeing is the success of an alternate green and renewable form of energy being sabotaged by a blimp belonging to a huge corporate entity, Duff Beer. This could symbolize the advanced suppression of green energy by corporate interests in the past and continuing into the future in our world. Number 8. AI robots takeover. The following prediction is something that we all presume would happen in the near future, but it is pretty certain to happen when The Simpsons predicted as well. In 2012, The Simpsons predicted mass automation, and this is what ensued. The robots took over the jobs of many humans. Although a robot revolution was discussed long before that, in a 1994 episode of Itchy and Scratchy Land, the whole family decided to visit a theme park staffed by robots. These robots went off the rails and kill everyone. They managed to both predict the very existence of Westworld and the upheaval of robots simultaneously. Westworld already exists and carries the idea of a theme park full of almost sentient robots who decide to go against their human equivalents. The father of artificial intelligence, Jürgen Schmidhuber, believes that AI superintelligence will trigger runaway technological growth and severe changes to civilization in just 30 years. Number 9. President Ivanka Trump. Since The Simpsons already managed to predict Donald Trump as the President of the United States, it's hard not to suspect that their next prediction will come true as well. In the 2016 episode, they made a relatively straightforward point of implying that Trump's daughter, Ivanka, would run for the highest office in the land when Homer wore an Ivanka 2028 campaign button. Then, in 2017, they again threw shade at Ivanka by marking her father's 100th day in office with an episode that showed her substituting for Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. She was seen fashioned in a robe and earrings from her collection that you could buy for 1,000 rubles. Number 10. The rise of female leadership. This prediction is probably going to happen in 2026. Though it didn't happen with Hillary Clinton, America will eventually get a female president in 2026. Forget about Donald Trump becoming president again because the Simpsons seem to disagree. In one episode, the fans saw a future where Lisa Simpson became the first female president of the United States. Aired in 2000, the episode called Bart to the Future featured Bart traveling through time to see what his future self looks like. Interestingly, Lisa Simpson makes passive remarks about inheriting a budget crunch from President Trump, the previous commander-in-chief. With the upcoming elections, the Simpsons are ready to strike again with their uncanny predictions. Number 11. Donald Trump's death. So, you've probably seen that hilarious animated image of President Trump in a coffin making the rounds on the internet. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a cartoon version of him taking a permanent nap? But seriously, this image has been circulating for years, and it's had its fair share of moments in the spotlight. Like that time in 2020 when the president and his wife tested positive for coronavirus. Suddenly, the internet was like, "The Simpsons predicted it. Trump is a goner." But let's be real, folks. The Simpsons has been predicting crazy stuff for years, and some of it hasn't come true. Yet. Then, in 2021, some genius on TikTok decided to create a viral video claiming that something big would happen on August 27th. And of course, the internet being the internet, it somehow got linked to that fake Simpsons image of Trump in a coffin. People were like, "Oh no, the Simpsons has spoken. Trump is doomed." But, spoiler alert, August 27th came and went, and Trump was still, well, Trump. Here's the best part. The image was completely fake. It was never actually part of any Simpsons episode. You know what would be hilarious? If we killed off Trump in an episode. Just kidding. Let's just stick to what's happening right now. Some recent events have people wondering if there's more to the story. There was a failed assassination attempt against the president, and now some folks are speculating about his death on April 12th, 2025. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. After all, The Simpsons has predicted some wild stuff, but it's not exactly a crystal ball. A few key points to remember. The image of President Trump in a coffin is totally fake. The Simpsons has a history of predicting crazy stuff, but this wasn't one of them. If you're waiting for The Simpsons to predict your future, you might be waiting a while. And finally, if you're going to try to kill off Trump in a cartoon, at least make it a funny episode. While we can't be sure if The Simpsons writers are part of the Illuminati, one thing is clear. They've got their eyes on the future and a knack for weaving it into their storylines. It's a little eerie. But seriously, with their track record, we might want to start taking their predictions a bit more seriously. After all, who would have thought a cartoon could be so on point? Let's just hope The Simpsons don't predict an alien invasion anytime soon. We're not ready for that kind of truthiness. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.